Hello, this is Michelle Fry again, doing my tutorial number 2 on how to edit audio in Audacity. Today we're going to discuss effects, and specifically noise removal, compression, amplifying, changing your tempo, and whatever else I can throw in. We're going to start out here with a little snippet from a recording I did from Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn, which is really sometimes very hard to read because he makes you giggle a lot. So we're going to end up with almost nothing because most of this is just giggling. But when I did this, I recorded it a little too hot. The background was noisy, and so this is a perfect little chunk for me to show you how to work with these effects. First off, when you record, you'll notice I've got about 5 seconds of silence here. Anytime you record, I highly recommend you let your program run for about 5 seconds before you start to speak, and when you finish recording, that you let your program run for about 5 seconds. Now notice this thick line. Let's listen to it. Very noisy. That won't do. So this 5 seconds is really good here at the beginning. It gives you a chance to get a noise profile. Notice I say down here, noise reduction. We're going to click on that, and we're going to get a noise profile. Now this loud noise, of course, is running through and underneath my speech as well as here. So based on getting this noise profile, I'm going to select my entire track. I'm going to go Effect, Noise Reduction, and I've already got my settings here. I'm going to reduce the noise. I'm just going to go OK, and watch this. Watch this little line here. Boom! It takes a lot of that noise out of the background. Let's listen again. Okay, I still hear it, so we are going to do a repeat. Oh, by the way, down at the bottom here, you should be seeing the letters that I push. R. R means repeat the previous action. See, it's applying noise reduction again. And now let's listen. You do want a little bit of noise, so that gives me just a little bit of background noise. You don't want absolute silence. Okay, so that takes care of noise reduction for this. We can talk about, forgot to tell you, these settings, 772. These are just what works for me. Different people use 666. Some people use 20. I got my settings by fiddling around until I got something that worked for my voice with my sound studio, because I always record in the same place. If I was in a different environment when I recorded, I might have to change these, but I'm really no expert. You have to go to the LibriVox wiki. It explains all that. There's a lot of Audacity tutorials online. They can help explain this as well. Now, we're going to, if you look at this thing here, you see we have a +1, 0.5, 0. This is the 0 line, which should be the center of your waveform, -5 and -1. If I go over here to this envelope, which I never use, but it's great for showing you this, you can see that I have some peaks that go way above the 0.5 and that go way below the -0.5, and some even get clipped beyond the 1. So this is considered a little too hot for us. So what we want to do is get out of that envelope, which is very dangerous, I think. And we're going to, we grab the whole thing. See how it's not highlighted? That means it's not grabbed. If I click on this right here, it grabs it all. Or I can go Control A and it grabs it all. I'm going to go Effect, Compressor. Now, my settings, once again, I have no idea how I got these, except I studied it long ago. And a lot of people, most people have theirs set at 16, -16 threshold. I have found that mine works very well at 12. I do everything rather gently. I don't click on anything else. Once again, you'll have to study the professionals for that. Watch what happens. Let me move this over here. Watch what happens to my peaks when I hit OK. Boom. See, my peaks are now pretty much down in the range of the 0.5 range. Very good, very good. Okay, so now you see that. So I've done compression. Now I'm going to listen to my track. I'm going to bore you with it one time. I got the giggles. I giggled for a minute and a half. I couldn't catch my breath, couldn't stop. I went ahead and let it run because I never knew when I was going to get it right. I actually tried to repeat it several times, most of which I've already deleted, until you'll see here at the end I finally got it right. Let's just listen one time. These was all nice pictures, I reckon, but I didn't somehow seem to take to them, because if ever I was down a little, they always give me the fan. Oh, God. I can't talk. Because it... All right. Because it... the Phantoms. Because if ever I was down a little, they always give me the Phantoms. Okay, so you see I finally got it. I finally got it right. So over here, these was all nice pictures, I reckon, but I didn't somehow seem to take to them, because if ever I was down a little, they always give me the Phantoms. Okay, so this here section right here is where this one is going to fill in, but I'm not sure quite where it will do best. Where should I splice it? So first I'm going to get rid of all this stuff that I know I'm throwing away. Z, X. Z is for zero, find the zero crossings. X is delete. Now I'm going to come up here, watch this. This means that it's going to fit the whole project into one space. Now I don't need this second here, these first 4 seconds. I'm going to X that out. And I don't really need all of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to keep 5 seconds at the end. Delete the rest. Now I'm going to fill my screen with that again. And you can see right here, because if ever I was down a little, they always give me the Phantoms. Okay, because if ever I was down a little, they always give me the Phantoms. Okay, so I don't need the laughter, because if ever I was down a little, you can see this is almost the same track. Let's zoom in, okay? See that plus? That's a zoom in. Or I could do control, have it control I for control I, zooms me in, and control O zooms me out. I for in, O for out. Okay, so let's go back out. Let's listen to this. Remember, there's a C command. I can hit C, and it will play this, and it will play this, and it will temporarily cut this out, but not really. Watch. Because if ever I was down a little, they always give. Okay, so I can just do it that way. Because if ever I was down a little, they always give. Okay. That sounds okay, but it's possible there could be a better place. Just to demonstrate it, let me just show you. This is how you edit. You see, the letter B has a little uptick like that. So let's just press C, which is going to play this, and add it to this. How seem to take to them, because if ever I was down a little, that sounds really good. But for the and that's probably what I do, but for the purposes of this demonstration, let me just also show you that you can just pick out certain portions of it. Because if ever I was down a little, they always give. Because if ever I was down a little, they always give. Because if ever I was down a little. Or you could keep all of this and just only, you might just want to only splice in this. Let's play this. Was down a little, they always give me the Phantoms. So that sounds good too. Now, let's presume we wanted this. Let's zoom in. Let's go over here. Now, to get it exact, you want to make sure you get it right in between the lines, because you don't want it to have a pop to it. In between the lines. Let me not do it between the lines and show you. Was down a little, they always give me the fan tods. Okay, that didn't work so good. Let's suppose you don't get
Was
it right.
down a little, they always give me the fan tods.
Okay, you don't want that extra in there, so you want to put the thing right where it goes.
Was down a little, they always give me the fan tods.
That sounds pretty good. So I'm going to just go, I'm going to cut that out. ZX. Now let's listen to our file.
These was all nice pictures, I reckon, but I didn't somehow seem to take to them, because if ever I was down a little, they always give me the fan tods.
Okay, that sounds pretty good, but I think all this, if you look at this, this is much hotter than all of this. So I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna analyze my replay gain, preview it. See, down 4.3. I need to go down 4.3 to have this be at 89 decibels, which is what we're always striving for. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to amplify -2. Like that. See how that brought that down? So now this is much more like this. But I can also see visually that this here is too low. Let's do a replay gain on that. Analyze, replay gain, preview. It needs to go up 1. Okay. Effect, amplify, +1. Okay. So that amplified that, but now this little bit here, I'm going to amplify again +1. I can hit R for repeat, which will repeat the previous effect. R. That increased that just a little bit. Now let's listen again.
These was all nice pictures, I reckon, but I didn't somehow seem to take to them, because if ever I was down a little, they always give me the fan tods.
Okay. So, just for demonstration purposes, let's say we thought that was too loud. I can go Effect, Amplify, -1. Now that just went down a little bit. Let's listen again.
These was all nice pictures, I reckon, but I didn't somehow seem to take to them, because if ever I was down a little, they always give me the fan tods.
Now, didn't it seem to you like this was just a little too low? It did. This seemed like it was just a little too low. I want to amplify that 1. Now, I'm being real picky. I wouldn't normally do this. I'm just showing you that you can do this. And if I wanted to amplify this again, 1, I've already just done 1, so all I have to do is hit repeat, and it repeats the previous action.
These was all nice pictures, I reckon, but I didn't somehow seem to take to them, because if ever I was down a little, they always give me the fan tods.
There you go. You've got your corrected thing. We've done noise removal. It's actually now called noise reduction. Compression, to get rid of the peaks. We've amplified, and we haven't adjusted our tempo yet. That's right. I think that the whole thing, being as it's a southern accent, I delivered it too fast, so I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to change my tempo. -2 is pretty good. I can preview it.
These was all nice pictures, I reckon, but I didn't somehow seem to take to them, because if ever I was down a...
Okay, I don't like that. Let's try -6, just to show you the power of tempo. -6, preview.
These was all nice pictures, I reckon, but I didn't somehow seem to take to them, because if ever I was down...
Oh, I think that's a little too slow, so I'm just going to get my little southern accent going a little bit slower. What it does is it just spreads it out just a little bit. And if there's something here like at the end, which I think this would look better, it would be better if it was slowed down even more. I can repeat my -2 tempo, stretch that out a little bit.
These was all nice pictures, I reckon, but I didn't somehow seem to take to them, because if ever I was down a little, they always give me the fan tods.
There you go. That will be my tutorial for today.